The Dreamcast version though, this one went straight for the Daytona USA School of Crowd, and they are all animated too much. It's hilarious to look at. Some hold an Austin 316 sign and others just bounce in their seat. I guess the thing to do here would be to get them more involved, whilst hitting big moves and getting the crowd on your side would have them more animated, just like in WWF Warzone. But outside of the free frames that we tend to get on the two base consoles discussed here, there probably isn't much more that could have been done. Although it's probably obvious when watching the footage back, I didn't really realise till after the fact how good the Dreamcast version actually looks. I was leaning towards the PlayStation and N64 just for the gameplay side of things, but graphically, the Dreamcast version does look great compared to the other two, even if this was just a below HD image stretched to fit. The game seems to have only 3 arenas, though this isn't actually the case. It's only because the rest of the arenas are locked behind the custom arena selection when choosing before the start of a match. When hitting the custom button, you can put together the worst looking WrestleMania arena of all time. Completely lackluster, just replacing the Heat logos with the WrestleMania ones. Or if you fancy wrestling in Kane's fancy pink lighting, you can choose that right from one of the options here too, having one of the worst last man standing matches ever seen between Jeff Jarrett and Kane, bathed in a beautiful Barbie pink glow. When it comes to gameplay though, most characters feel almost identical to play, due to having so many identical moves throughout the entire roster. It is interesting when you get mismatched against different opponents. Take a match between Sable and Shamrock for example. It definitely feels different to take control as Shamrock, as most of his moves end up with you hitting either suplexes, submissions or throws, as well as some kicks for good measure. It's definitely enough to keep it fresh. Blood, as I mentioned previously, makes its debut in this title, after not appearing as an option in Warzone, and it really does just look like someone took a Sharpie and put it on the opponent in random spots. It really is strange to see the back of Billy Gunn's hair start to bleed, while The Rock suddenly have blood appear on his chest or arms. Weirder than that was the time that I won a fatal 4-way by drawing with Billy Gunn when The Rock was counted out. This came after I pinned Road Dogg and eliminated him, so figure that one out. It's time to talk about the roster selection found in WWF Attitude. You have the obvious guys returning from Warzone, that being Steve Austin, Triple H, The Rock, Taker, Kane, Mankind, Ken Shamrock, Owen, the Headbangers, Goldust, Farouk, and both Cactus and Dude Love, though this time they are locked away as different costumes for Mankind, so only take up one slot. It's a missed opportunity honestly, as when playing as Dude Love or Cactus, you are essentially just Mankind but with a different skin on top. No new lines of dialogue or moves, so having Cactus Jack use the mandible claw is just a weird one. There are 42 wrestlers in Attitude compared to the 18 wrestlers of the base roster of Warzone. The new guys are highlighted by newcomers like Al Snow with Head, an actual floating head who you can wrestle as, mid-carders like the Grandmaster Sexay, Taka Michinoku, Gangrel and Val Venus.